Hi all. Latest little acquisition. Really happy with this. I was happy with my carbon clutch, but I must admit this is a whole lot of engineering that I haven't had to do. So pretty much makes things an arse like quicker and simpler. This is the rear anti-roll bar. Or will be the rear anti-roll bar once I put it on. Doesn't really look like much like an anti-roll bar unless you happen to be in the world of, well, Formula 1 or Indycar open wheel series. This is off a Dallara Indycar. What ilk? I don't know. What year? I'm not too sure. Pretty much this is the complete roll bar setup. Looks a little different, which it kind of is. As you can see by the cable, it's adjustable. So I need to make a end piece for this with a threaded section to push this in and out. This doesn't twist, it actually just pushes in and out. Quick appraisal of how it works. Obviously these two bolts here will lead off via two rods to the suspension points here and here. So at the end of the shock absorber. So the end of the shock absorber will be connected to the roll bar. So this will sit here behind the eagle plate and behind the shock absorbers, and just be connected by bars over to there. So it's nice and simple as far as that's concerned. How it works, which is, I must admit, I was kind of bemused partially and bought it really because, well, I just wanted to see what the engineering was like, if nothing else. But it turned out that it's actually going to be really useful. You think the back of a single-seater rear roll bar would be too stiff for basically a road car, and especially a road car that's probably quite a bit heavier, by a factor of, I don't know what, 40-50% heavier. But, so as now very nicely found out, a quick appraisal of how it works. Well, obviously this lever is a pivot here. This pivot here moves this, which moves the actual blade. That's the blade, that's the roll bar part itself. That blade, if we come to here, that blade is connected to this theoretical pivot point here. Now that pivot point, if the car rolls anyway, will be moving left and right. As these 2 points there, obviously the car rolls, will induce an angle, which means it wants to bend this, which is in turn wanted to bend the blade part of the roll bar. Now, you can obviously offset the distance here in comparison to that by moving this forward or back. So if you want a harder or stiffer roll bar, you move it further out. So it's a greater pivot point here. Much to my fantastic praise of this thing. If I can move the damn thing back. Hang on a second. Much to my surprise, I think would be the word. Because I thought I might have to re-engineer partly the blade to make it more suitable to the car. Much to my surprise, this pivot point here can actually move completely back in line with the rear bar. So if you move it back in line, obviously there's no pivot whatsoever, you can put a zero roll bar effect. So now this thing will pivot with no anti-roll bar effect whatsoever. Amazing. So I can actually now, this is actually useful, so I can dial in no roll bar to, obviously if I move forward, to really quite stiff. So I thought I was maybe going to have to introduce a slightly different blade in here to make this so it would be more suitable to the car, but as it happens, that pivot point will adjust from zero effect up to wherever I want it. If it's not stiff enough, which I don't think, because the rear is generally always softer than the front, I think this is going to be fine, as it is. No engineering at all. Very simple. I'll remake the end brackets here, because they're designed for like a horizontal mount, and I want to mount it onto the plate at the back here. So I'll have to machine some new ones of those. Apart from that, I can virtually bolt it in. which is it's going to be a bonus. So if you can imagine where it's going to sit kind of there. Nice and simple. With two, oh, there you go, there's the one bracket. With those two bars there and thing, little red dots will just connect the end of the shock absorbers. Nice and simple.